Landing incursion complete. Wave 2 units commence assault and activate escort programs. Eliminate all troops encountered. Multi-troop transport must arrive at the palace gates intact. Thwart clone ion disruptor attacks. Forces have reached the first waypoint. Continue the escort. MTT has reached waypoint 2. Further attacks must be intercepted.
Okay, I am back. So, let's see if this fixed it. Real quick. Okay. So, we are good. Okay, so we are back. The headset I was using apparently did not work. The microphone wasn't picking up for some reason. So I had to transfer out, but now everything should be fine. So we're gonna hop back into this. And that was terrible, but oh well. Okay.
MTT targeting weapons.
I'm gonna grab an interceptor.
Clear the area of clone resistance and prepare for phase 2.
Overriding the west door controls.
Okay.
West door control override aborted. Grenade out. Running override.
Okay, so that's better. I got some more battle points. So that'll be nice. Okay. So I kind of talked about this a little earlier, but sadly the mic wasn't on and working. So I've had this game for a couple days now. Went through the campaign, been playing a little online here and there. And the campaign is fantastic. I definitely recommend to any Star Wars fan hopping on and playing some. But as kind of a prerequisite to playing, I would highly recommend reading both Inferno Squad and the Aftermath series. There's a lot of callbacks to both of those if you've done any kind of real research into the game, you probably know that the main characters of the campaign are the Inferno Squad members, so definitely a good one to get or to pick up. It will give you some background. The book is completely pre-game, so it's all a prequel of the game, so it'll help keep you up to date on what's going on. You'll know a little bit of background on the characters, which is just a nice little tidbit. The Aftermath series, especially when you get later into the campaign, there are a lot of nods to the Aftermath series. And those nods are just really, really helpful. They're really nice nods where they're not like shoehorned in to where you feel like you don't feel like you're being slapped in the face by them, but they're there. But the campaign was definitely fun. I enjoyed it. It only took me about 6 hours, so not an extraordinarily lengthy campaign, but seeing as how this game is primarily multiplayer based, I'm not gonna get too upset about it. How did I do? 8 kills? Not a terrible run. I definitely did not... We definitely dominated them, but... Nice. Good job, Krusty Barnacle, whoever you are. 855. Okay, that's not terrible. So with the campaign, it was good. Multiplayer, they're fixing things. The microtransactions are currently unavailable. You cannot buy crystals, which you could then use on loot boxes. So I don't know what they're doing about that. I believe they're probably going to eventually bring them back, just in a much lesser form, because EA. They are working on rebalancing a lot of the characters. I know I've run into a few major patches already in the couple days that I've had it, because it came out on Thursday night. So it's still a pretty fresh game, and for context of people watching this in Futureland, this is Sunday. So I've had it since I picked it up Friday. I just rented it because I wanted to check out the story and see if the multiplayer had improved enough. I wasn't a super big fan of the first game's multiplayer, so trying out this one was a really nice refresher.
Now there's going to be the landing armored MPTs loaded with battle troops. Best bet, stop the advancing MPT before it reaches the Royal Palace. Got an arsenal
And so far, I really like this one. The campaign, I've talked a lot about. I keep bringing it up. It was really good. Yeah. As a Star Wars fan, there's a few things I didn't necessarily like, but those are getting kind of nitpicky and have a little bit of personal bias in it. So like I said, I've been having a pretty good time playing the game, and dang it. Okay. I've been having a pretty good time with it. The multiplayer, the new card system is interesting. It is annoying when you're grinding, you get a loot box, you open up the loot box, and you get a bunch of cards for a class that you don't really play. Because then they're pretty much useless for you. I know I have probably more cards for the specialist class, which normally I am pretty good at sniper rolls. Or in the sniper role, I'm normally pretty good. Not in this game. I had no clue where they were at there. Let's take out a V-Wing. The game overall, I cannot... I'm renting it. I think with the way the multiplayer is, I definitely enjoyed enough to keep it. Well, not to keep it, but I'm going to buy... I'm definitely going to be buying a version, or buying a copy. Whether it'll be on PS4 or on PC, I cannot say yet.
Enemy has crossed waypoint Alpha. Withdraw to secondary position. Impact alert.
Meh.
Damage to the transport.
Okay. Whether or not I'm going to get it on PC or PlayStation 4 is a little questionable for me still. As I think everyone can admit, there is a bit of advantage to mouse and keyboard. I am not super great in first-person shooters, especially especially on PC. I think it is partly that with the controller I feel a little bit more evened out. PC players can just get ridiculous with some stuff, and your shield does not block that. But with everything going on, I'm going to send a link to a friend quick. With everything going, it's been pretty enjoyable. The PC console debate I don't want to get into, but I'm enjoying it on here. I might pick it up on PC. I might not. I'm not really sure yet. Whew. I will say, as far as game mechanics go, I have found the droids to be borderline broken. The separatists are way overpowered in those tanks. And I'm gonna lose some nerd cred here, but because I don't remember what they're called, but the separatist tanks are just massively overpowered. They can tank like crazy, and they're pretty maneuverable. They're like any other tank, pretty much a one-hit kill, but if you're even close, it's a one-hit kill, so you've got that to deal with, along with the fact that they're very mobile. The mobility makes them hard to kill, and the fact that you can't really, well, you can, but heavy ordnance is really hard to start out with. With the card system, it takes a while to get that, and even if you do get it, you're looking at a while before you can even if you do get that card early, like, unless you're in one of these matches, it's not super helpful. I will check the next time I die, and you just heard Yoda come up, so that's gonna be fun. Last match I actually killed Yoda. Dang it. Dang you, Tactical Taco. I believe that's Darth... Yeah, Darth Maul is gonna... Oh, hey. I am on the side of Yoda this round. Last match I played as a warm-up, I actually ended up killing Yoda as a normal trooper, so that was a feat for the day. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll run into another hero. Had to say something. I ran into him. Right into that lightsaber. Let's take up a bomber. No, I'm gonna save up for that Naboo starfighter. Other than the multiplayer, there is an arcade mode which has either set scenarios, which are pretty fun and intriguing and based around different sections of the Star Wars mythos and canon. I don't know where he went. I don't know where he went. Did he die? I don't know. Okay, that was terrifying. Darth Maul is scary.
I'm a Jedi, like my father.
Luke? Is up. So we're falling back.
No use stopping that MTT now. Hold that position. Door to the palace. We haven't lost yet.
We have Rey. Whew.
I will always survive.
Don't worry. Unidentified
I think
enemy
Maul's
now
back.
landing.
Dang it. Okay. But the arcade mode goes through certain scenarios, like you have a scenario where you're supposed to eliminate everyone in Theed, the capital city of Naboo, wherein you play as Darth Maul. No, wherein you play as Darth Maul, which is a great... It's a great little thing to just kind of play around with. You can also do custom arcade, which is essentially the old Battlefront 2, or Battlefront and Battlefront 2, the older ones, system of actually creating custom matches offline, so you can have 40 players, or 20, my bad, 10 per team, which is a little weird to me since you can have 20v20 matches. Like what I'm playing now is 20 players on each team per match, and it can do that fine, but then when you start getting into when you're playing in the arcade mode, you can only have 10 on each team. I don't know what's going on with the limitations there. If that was an EA thing, if that was a console thing, the CPU actually controlling those characters versus just receiving the information in of where people are at from the servers.
This is bad. Enemy leader deployed.
I'm not sure. Maybe on the PC version that's different. We'll see when I may or may not pick it up. That was not a good sound. Well, I see Luke. So at least if there's a lightsaber sound coming. Whoa! I got shotgunned. In the face. Let's try one of the Wookiees. I have not gotten to play as the Wookiee yet. But throughout multiplayer, through the arcade, custom is pretty fun. The arcade mode on consoles is split screen, or has split screen co-op. So I highly recommend that. Me and my wife have had a lot of fun just playing around with it. Getting her to see what she likes, what she'd want to play, maybe. Ah, that reload was bad.
Separatist leader is on the ground.
So we did with that one. Arcade mode is... Arcade mode, I will say, is a ton of fun. One of the things that they have done, though, is, especially in custom arcade, they've limited how many credits you can earn in a day to keep you from spamming that and farming credits to get loot boxes to boost your characters up really quickly. On one hand, I understand why they did it. On the other hand, it is still a little annoying that they did, because, well, let's face it, it'd be nice to be able to have some way to get credits a little faster. Although I think matches are about the same length, and I was earning anywhere from like 100 to 120 doing those, and I'm getting about 330 per matches on here. So, let's see, we are on, it looks like Hoth? No. Maybe, yeah, Hoth, judging by what everyone's wearing and the rebels. I haven't played a lot. Also, each class now gets abilities that you can see here. The cards can change abilities. It's gonna drop me in. But the cards can change your abilities, either boosting them and making them more powerful. Like, I have a... Oh, it set me as the assault class. I normally don't play the assault class. It is probably my second best, however, so we'll see how this goes. On, say, my heavy class, which is my main, let's just shoot that dart out and see if it reveals anything. Woo! Tactical Taco. This guy's just making me mad. Not really mad. I can't even be mad at him.
You're covered.
I skylined myself on top of a mountain in a somewhat close quarter class. That was my bad. As I said, I'm not normally great as a sniper, but this seems like it'd be a decent match for it. We'll see what I can do. Boop. Whew. But as I was saying with the cards, I have an improved impact grenade, so it's actually a little more powerful and does a bit more damage. Wow, really? That's 2 shots to the back of the dome. Woo! I do have to admit, though, probably my favorite thing in the Battlefront series is just that with, like, overall the best thing for me is with the 40-player matches and LucasArts, I mean, their light and theater department behind everything to help make the game is, well, I got some objective points. But with them behind it, just playing it, you feel like you're, like, I throw on some good headphones and just zone out for a few minutes, and it starts to feel like I'm there. I'm at Hoth. And I love that. Just as a Star Wars fan growing up, and as a huge fan now, I love it. It makes me feel so happy to be able to actually hop in the game and feel like I'm there. That I am defeating the rebel scum, or I am taking out a few imps, and that I am helping the rebellion, even though that's not technically my main goal, but whatevs. I am an Imperial through and through, but that's a personal matter. Dang it. Ooh. Actual dogfight.
Walker's still standing.
So ties in this game are very maneuverable. I believe it is the original Rebel or the original Rogue Squadron game that said it, but Imperial ties can basically fly circles around an X-Wing. And an X-Wing is considered one of the most maneuverable fighters on the side of the Rebellion. So, from what I've seen, actually, a lot of pilots die hitting the ground. Which makes it hard in a ship to get kills. Right now, I'm essentially playing Overwatch I'm just sort of waiting for these to get blasted so that I can attack them. Oop. Whew.
Walker hit! Target another rocket. Walker closing.
Ooh. Dang it. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the ground.
Scored a hit! Walker damaged!
Starfighter is also a big part of my, like, I love the Starfighters. So, that's definitely a thing for me.
Hit one of the walkers! Still standing!
Whew. Orbital strike. A lot of this is just coming down to my fandom. I mean, I'm not gonna go out and buy a Call of Duty game.
Enemies running scared.
I'm not saying that, you know, Call of Duty players are dumb or anything along those lines, like I don't like them. No, it's just a matter of, ooh, Tauntaun.
Go down already! Report back!
Walker still standing.
Woo. Oh, you didn't notice me the entire time I was on that Tauntaun, but the moment I hop off, you notice me.
Couldn't stop the walkers, but we can repel the infantry.
Like I said, a lot of it though is just,
If we lose Walker,
I enjoy Star Wars. I love playing Star Wars, I love reading it, I love watching it. It's a big part of my life. So, I'm willing to lean a little further into it for the sake of, hey, this is something that it's definitely me. Overall though, I'd say with the balancing issues right now, definitely wait. Don't buy it, don't give EA like what EA did is
Special combatant on the ground.
kind of screwed up. So
We're a team.
I don't want to give them my money at the moment until the balancing is all fixed and everything is done there. Case in point, why I just rented the game. It'll inflate their number of it'll build up their number of players by 1, but I'm not giving them my money. Again, a major balance is going to be another big factor of whether or not I buy it and what system I buy it on. I hear a lightsaber. Okay, it's Rey.
I guess we're a team.
And Yoda. How about I hear lightsabers? Oh, supercharged sentry, nice. It's one that I've been working on getting. I need to get up to level 10, however, with my ranking. I think I just hit level 7 in that last match. I might be wrong. But I would recommend to fans of the game, or of the series, rent it, go through the campaign. Like fans of Star Wars, rent it, go through the campaign. It is a great story.
I'm in this for the money.
Grenade out!
Woo!
Press a volley, now!
Skywalker, standing by.
Enemy leader taking point!
I'm a little jumpy in this section. I often shoot those droids because I see movement, and so I take them out. And so I start shooting.
Imperial leader on the ground! Not sure who!
It starts. That's Kylo. So we get a Kylo and a Maul out.
Are you offering me a job?
It's a long-time series for fans. After the balancing fix, definitely get it. If you like Battlefield, if you like Battlefront, if first-person shooters are your thing, it's an interesting take on the system with the battle points, which I haven't really gone into. So, battle points you earn by getting kills, playing the objective, being a quote-unquote sacrifice, which I hate when I get points for that, because it's like, yay, here's pity points for dying. Maybe if we give you some points, you'll do better.
Get out!
But
Losing the West Hangar!
oh, I saw someone and I'm not sure.
Evac's proceeding. Just keep them fighting.
So battle points you then use to buy, say, the higher level ones, like heroes, ships, the more specialized ones, like the jet troopers, and so on. I believe there was a Battlefront 2, maybe Battlefront 1. It's been a while since I've played. Had a similar system where you eventually earned those higher tiered classes as the match went on, and the better you did. But I like the system. It's a lot of fun for me. I definitely like it better than the system in EA's Battlefront 1. So I would do that. Or that's my take on it. I'm going to back out. I'll show you a little bit of the card system quick. Just for the last couple minutes here. We'll go ahead and look at that. Loading. Lots of loading. Oh, and this has been another issue. I've never been kicked from a match because of it. In between matches it happens a lot. So that's a thing that they need to work on. Again, it's been out less than a week. It's pretty commonplace at this point for them not to have their servers completely up and running perfectly. So if we go over here to collection, you can see you've got your 4 classes, your 2 upgraded ones that I talked about, Aerial or Enforcer, which would be like the Wookiee. Here you can see the Flame Trooper. Armor, your ATSTs, your, again, I'm failing in my knowledge here to remember what the 2-legged ones that the clones used were called. Artillery. This one, you actually don't fly the gunboat. You are just in it, in those side pods, shooting. Or like speeders and things like that. They also have your your fighters, which is your X-wings, TIEs, vulture droids, and so forth. V-wing, no, not V-wings. Actually, I think if I remember correctly, I can. ARC, there we go. ARC 170s, N1 Starfighter, TIE Fighter, Vulture Droid, X-Wing, and that's those ones. Here you've got your V-Wings, your A-Wings, your Tri-Fighter, your Special Forces TIE Fighter, which are the ones that Finn and Poe stole in Episode 7, because it is 2-seater, and you can see the little red mark on the side of the cockpit there. Your TIE Interceptors, of course, are in that class, and bombers, your heavier ones, your Y-Wings, your TIE bombers, modified Vulture, not Vulture droids. Y-Wings, or the older Y-Wings, or these new or older, of the Republic Navy. So these would be the newer Y-Wings, from after 6, the New Republic built. I believe I might be wrong on that. So don't quote me on that, essentially. Hyena class bombers, which are essentially just modified Vulture droids. As you can see, there's a second compartment there that's used to hold bombs and heavier artillery. Otherwise, they're still Vulture droids. And then you've got your heroes. So this was part of the big controversy in Unlock Star Card Slot 2. So it takes so many credits to unlock these characters. Which is annoying, especially for like Luke. Actually, oh, they did drop it. They've already balanced it out a bit by dropping Luke and Vader were 2 of the big ones. They were originally 60,000. As you can see, each match I played was probably, what, about 15 minutes. I got 330 credits from it. So that would be about, or to get 60,000 credits would take a good while. Just to unlock the character, and then after that you have to farm their cards. So even after you unlock them, you're not guaranteed them. Or you're not like, you still have more to go with them. Which I'll get into the price of cards in a minute. However, you can, rather than unlocking cards, I'm going to do this with the heavy, for example. Or we'll go with the, let's go with the fighter. I enjoy the fighters. So you can see there, hit X to craft right in the middle. And those are scrap parts. Scrap parts come from the loot boxes and are dropped that way. You can use those to craft specific ones that you want. So I want repair system, which actually wouldn't be a bad one to get for this, because typically I spend a long time. If I'm in the air, I'm normally in the air for a good while. Increases top speed and how quickly a TIE fighter can accelerate and decelerate. That's not a bad one either. I'm going to go with repair system. Craft it. Boom. I have it. Now I can also upgrade it using those scrap parts, or hope that I pull an upgraded version. Right now, the problem that I'm running into is it has to be rank 10. Or I have to be rank 10 in order to upgrade to level 2. I'm guessing to upgrade to level 3, I have to be rank 20, 30 for rank 4, which is the highest rank. Do not quote me, I'm not that far yet into the system to know if that is correct. But that's where part of this controversy came in that, if I remember the numbers correctly, again, don't quote me, it was around, I think someone calculated before they dropped the prices of certain things and they dropped the microtransactions, you were looking at somewhere around $6,000 or like 2,100 hours. Or it was something ridiculous like that to unlock everything in the game. Or it might have been $2,100 and so many hours. But anyway, you're talking thousands of dollars to get everything in the game, or ridiculous amounts of time. EA has kind of fixed this a little bit. It definitely dropped it back. I think the original estimate was about 40 hours to get a character such as Luke or Vader. Looking at this, it drops it down to about 10 hours of grinding for them, which I think is definitely much more fair. I mean, that's long enough to like focus on them and not feel like you're spending a week or 2 weeks and just all you're doing is only getting that one character. Of course, it might be 1 or 2 weeks, depending on how much you play, but that's neither here nor there. We're going to get repair system 2 for you, because I like that one better. Some of the ships they have, I have not gotten to try very many of these. I need to make... arcade mode sadly does not have a starfighter option. At least not yet. Which saddens me, because I would like to try some of these. I have tried... I was in the TIE Advanced for a couple minutes in one match, and the Slave 1 for a few minutes in another match. I would like to try the TIE Silencer. I want to try all of these. I really do. You know, Luke's X-Wing is going to have different skills than Poe Dameron's X-Wing. And, I mean, Poe Dameron's X-Wing is so much better looking. Like, cool, the Rebellion was nice, but now that we've actually got something established in the New Republic, at least up until the Empire wrecked, what was it, 5 major planets, the Republic had money. It had that infrastructure to make things look better, and you weren't just a ragtag group. Or they were no longer just a ragtag group. Yoda's actual light interceptor, I've always been, like, the Jedi ships are so cool, and I really like them. The Scimitar, Maul's ship, I know from promo material that it has the ability to cloak, which is pretty cool, or at least I believe it does. Yeah, it has a stealth drive. I can pull up the abilities here. Can't be locked on and targeted for a short time, so that's nice. But it's things like that they've added. So, like, again, we can look at Jedi instincts, target cannot be lost. Obi-Wan's guidance fires 2 proton torpedoes instead of just 1. R2-D2 repairing the ship, whereas in Poe Dameron's, you have BB-8 repairing, which is probably the same thing in all honesty. It probably does the same amount as R2, even though, let's face it, R2 has way more experience than BB-8 in such matters. Let's see. Oh, nice. So it reveals on the radar all other ships. That's pretty nice. And dual proton torpedoes. The dual proton torpedoes, I don't know why he gets that. Luke, it makes sense since he fires off 2 into the Death Star. In A New Hope, but who knows, maybe it's something from the new movie that will be out here in a couple weeks, The Last Jedi, which I am super excited for. For anyone that's watched this far, you will get a sneak preview at what I'm looking at. Not really a preview, more of just a here is my plan for this coming year. I definitely plan to go see The Last Jedi when it comes out, once at minimum. Before I get into that, get more crates. You have the loot boxes here. Trooper crates, 4,000 credits. 2,400 and 2,200. The main reason being there's technically 6 trooper classes. The Starfighter, there's 4 or 2, 3. And the Hero crate, you're getting a lot of different heroes that it could be. And you're only getting 1 or 2 hero cards. So it varies. Get more crystals. The PlayStation broadcast will screw it up if I actually hit it. But it actually will just say that the store page is unavailable. So you cannot purchase them at this time. Otherwise, crystals, I don't know what the going rate was. It says 200, 120, and 110, but I don't know how much 200 crystals was, if that was $2, $5. So that pretty much sums it up. And again, as kind of a preview for anyone that does watch this far, starting the beginning of the new year, once a week, I'm going to be reviewing a Star Wars piece of the new canon. So starting week 1, I am going to be giving a review of Star Wars Episode 1. And I plan to go in chronological order. So Star Wars Episode 1, Attack of the Clones. I'm going to vary it up a bit, and I'm going to go with Season 1. So week 3 will be Season 1 of Clone Troopers, or of Clone Wars, the cartoon. And then the seasons preceding, unless I am mistaken off the top of my head, I don't believe there's anything in between Clone Wars and book-wise. But this will be including everything canon, the movies, the books, or the movies, the books, the TV shows. I cannot really do the comics. I thought about it, and 1, the comics are really hard to collect. 2, they're really hard to put in canon chronological order of where they take place. Sorry. 3, comics are expensive, and right now I think Star Wars through Marvel is running like 6 different titles at like $4 or $5 a piece per issue. It's expensive to just get them all, finding the time to get through them all, and then finding a good way of breaking it up. Like, I might do in the future, I might do some of the major events, like Screaming Citadel, and do a review of that, or Vader Down, things like that. Or maybe some of the overall short ones, like the short run that Darth Maul had, a 5-part miniseries. Doing overall thoughts on that. But for right now, I want to go through, starting the beginning of the year, once a week, a review of the Star Wars canon, the new canon, in order, movies, books, and TV show. I guess I can kind of throw in the games when we get to that point. We'll see. So yeah, that is what we're looking at for the channel. That's just one thing I want to try. I'd like to branch back out into some technology stuff and some other things later, but for right now, I'm thinking Star Wars is going to be a bit of the niche for this channel for a bit. So, if you're interested, come back. And if not, well, have fun. But this is Blake from Black Tech, signing off.